Your heart is beating right now, about 60 to 100 times per minute. With each beat, your blood is supposed to rush through nearly 60,000 miles of blood vessels in your body. But here's what most people don't know. For millions of people around the world, their blood isn't flowing the way it should. It's sluggish, thick, struggling to deliver oxygen and nutrients to where they're desperately needed. The result? Fatigue that won't go away, cold hands and feet even in warm rooms, brain fog that makes you forget why you walked into a room, and a body that feels decades older than it actually is. But what if I told you that specific vitamins, when used correctly, can completely transform how your blood moves through your body? Not in some mystical way, but through proven biochemical processes that scientists have documented for decades. Today I'm going to reveal 5 vitamins that directly impact your blood flow, and more importantly, how to use them so your cardiovascular system operates like it did when you were younger. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which deficiencies might be silently destroying your circulation right now. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This information could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. And if you know someone who's always complaining about being tired or having cold extremities, share this video with them right now. They'll thank you later. Let's start with a vitamin that barely anyone talks about, but that might be the most critical for blood flow, vitamin K2. Now, you've probably heard of vitamin K1, which helps your blood clot, but K2 is completely different, and here's why it's absolutely essential for your circulation. Inside your arteries right now, there's a battle happening. Calcium is trying to deposit itself into your arterial walls, making them stiff and narrow. This process, called arterial calcification, is one of the main reasons why blood flow decreases as people age. Your arteries literally turn into rigid pipes instead of flexible tubes. But vitamin K2 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein, which acts like a calcium traffic controller. It pulls calcium out of your arteries and directs it to where it actually belongs, your bones and teeth. Studies have shown that people with higher K2 intake have up to 57% less arterial calcification compared to those with low intake. Think about that for a second. More than half the arterial stiffness could potentially be prevented with adequate K2. When your arteries stay flexible, blood flows effortlessly, your blood pressure stays in healthy ranges, and your heart doesn't have to work as hard with every single beat. The problem is that modern diets are severely deficient in K2. It's found in fermented foods like natto, certain cheeses, and in smaller amounts in egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens. Most people consume almost none of it. The optimal dose is typically between 100 to 200 micrograms daily, and it works best when taken with vitamin D3 and fat since it's fat-soluble. Here's something fascinating. Researchers in Rotterdam followed over 4,800 people for 7 years and found that those with the highest K2 intake had a 50% reduction in death from heart disease. Your arteries aren't supposed to be calcified tubes. With K2, they can stay supple and allow blood to flow freely. Now let's talk about vitamin B3, specifically the form called niacin. This vitamin has been used by cardiologists for over 60 years because of its remarkable effects on blood and circulation, yet it's criminally underused today. Niacin does something extraordinary. It causes your blood vessels to dilate. You might have experienced this if you've ever taken a niacin supplement. It's that warming, tingling sensation called the niacin flush. What's actually happening is that your smallest blood vessels, your capillaries, are opening up wider. Blood that was barely trickling through is now flowing freely. This means more oxygen to your brain, your muscles, your organs, and every cell in your body. But niacin's benefits for blood flow go far beyond just vasodilation. It dramatically improves your cholesterol profile by raising HDL, the good cholesterol, by 20 to 35%, while lowering triglycerides and LDL. High triglycerides make your blood thicker and more sludgy, forcing your heart to work harder to pump it through your vessels. Niacin thins this out. There's also a lesser-known benefit. Niacin reduces something called lipoprotein A, or Lpa, which is an extremely dangerous particle that promotes blood clots and arterial plaque. Some people have genetically high Lpa, and niacin is one of the few substances that can lower it significantly, sometimes by 20 to 30%. The challenge with niacin is that the flush can be uncomfortable for some people. Starting with a low dose like 50 to 100 milligrams and gradually increasing helps your body adapt. Taking it with food also reduces the intensity. Some people prefer flush-free niacin, but it doesn't have the same cardiovascular benefits. The flush is actually a sign that it's working. If you've been struggling with poor circulation, if your hands and feet are always cold, if you feel like your brain isn't getting enough oxygen, niacin could be transformational. Medical literature shows improvements in circulation within weeks of starting appropriate doses. Vitamin E is one of the most misunderstood vitamins when it comes to blood flow. Most people take it as alpha tocopherol only, but that's just one of 8 different forms of vitamin E. The full complex includes 4 tocopherols and 4 tocotrienols, and they work together synergistically. Here's what makes vitamin E crucial for circulation. It's one of the most powerful fat-soluble antioxidants in your body. Your blood vessels are constantly under attack from oxidative stress. When LDL cholesterol gets oxidized, it becomes dangerous and starts forming plaque in your arteries. Vitamin E prevents this oxidation from happening in the first place. It's like having a protective shield around your blood vessels. But there's more. Vitamin E reduces the stickiness of your blood platelets. Platelets are the cells that clump together to form clots. While clotting is essential when you're injured, excessive platelet aggregation inside your blood vessels can lead to dangerous blockages. Vitamin E keeps your blood flowing smoothly without making it too thin. Studies have shown that vitamin E supplementation improves endothelial function. Your endothelium is the thin layer of cells lining your blood vessels, and it controls how well your vessels dilate and contract. When your endothelium is healthy, it produces nitric oxide, which relaxes blood vessels and improves flow. Vitamin E supports this process. The key is getting the full spectrum of vitamin E, not just isolated alpha tocopherol. In fact, taking only alpha tocopherol can deplete the other forms in your body. Look for supplements labeled as mixed tocopherols and tocotrienols. The typical effective dose ranges from 400 to 800 IU daily, always taken with food containing fat for proper absorption. Research from multiple studies suggests that people with higher vitamin E levels have better arterial flexibility and improved blood flow to extremities. If you've noticed that wounds heal slowly or that you bruise easily, vitamin E deficiency could be contributing to poor microcirculation. Vitamin C deserves far more credit for cardiovascular health than it typically receives. While everyone knows it's important for immune function, its role in blood flow is absolutely critical and often overlooked. First, vitamin C is essential for producing collagen, which makes up a significant portion of your blood vessel walls. Without adequate collagen, your vessels become weak and prone to damage. But vitamin C does something even more important. It protects and recycles your body's nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is perhaps the most important molecule for blood flow. It signals your blood vessels to relax and widen. The problem is that nitric oxide degrades quickly, especially when there's oxidative stress. Vitamin C prevents this degradation and helps your body maintain healthy nitric oxide levels for hours longer. This means sustained vasodilation and improved blood flow throughout the day. Studies have demonstrated that vitamin C supplementation can reduce arterial stiffness, especially in people with cardiovascular risk factors. One study showed that just 500 milligrams of vitamin C daily improved blood vessel dilation by 50% in people with coronary artery disease. Vitamin C also works synergistically with vitamin E. When vitamin E neutralizes free radicals, it becomes oxidized itself. Vitamin C comes in and regenerates vitamin E back to its active form, allowing it to continue protecting your blood vessels. They're a powerful team. The optimal dose for cardiovascular benefits appears to be between 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams daily, split into 2 or 3 doses since vitamin C is water-soluble and gets excreted relatively quickly. Higher doses might be beneficial for some individuals, but they should work with a healthcare provider to determine what's appropriate for their situation. Finally, let's discuss vitamin D3, which might be the most deficient vitamin in the modern world and one with profound effects on your cardiovascular system and blood flow. Vitamin D isn't technically a vitamin. It's actually a hormone that affects nearly every cell in your body, including those in your heart and blood vessels. Low vitamin D levels are associated with increased risk of high blood pressure, arterial stiffness, and poor circulation. The research on this is overwhelming. Here's the mechanism. Vitamin D helps regulate your renin-angiotensin system, which controls blood pressure and fluid balance. When you're deficient in vitamin D, this system becomes overactive, causing blood vessels to constrict and blood pressure to rise. Adequate vitamin D keeps the system in check, allowing your vessels to remain relaxed and your blood to flow freely. Vitamin D also reduces inflammation in your blood vessels. Chronic inflammation damages the endothelium and promotes plaque formation. By keeping inflammation under control, vitamin D helps maintain the health and flexibility of your arterial walls. Multiple studies have shown that people with vitamin D levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter have significantly worse cardiovascular outcomes compared to those with levels above 40. One meta-analysis of over 80,000 people found that higher vitamin D levels were associated with reduced risk of cardiovascular events. Most people need between 2,000 to 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily to maintain optimal levels, though some require more. The only way to know your levels is through blood testing. Vitamin D should always be taken with vitamin K2 and with a meal containing fat for maximum absorption. These two vitamins work together. K2 ensures calcium goes to your bones instead of your arteries, while D3 helps you absorb calcium in the first place. If you've been experiencing unexplained fatigue, muscle weakness, or poor circulation, there's a significant chance you're vitamin D deficient. Over 1 billion people worldwide are. Your blood flow determines the quality of your life more than almost any other factor. Every symptom we've discussed, the fatigue, the brain fog, the cold hands and feet, the declining energy, can be directly linked to poor circulation and vitamin deficiencies. These 5 vitamins, K2, B3, vitamin E complex, C, and D3, work together to keep your blood flowing the way it should. They protect your vessels, reduce inflammation, prevent calcification, improve cholesterol, and maintain the flexibility your cardiovascular system needs to function optimally. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, if you found this information valuable, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future videos on optimizing your health. Second, leave a comment below telling me which of these vitamins you're going to start with or if you're already taking any of them. Third, and most importantly, consider getting your levels tested. Work with a knowledgeable healthcare provider who understands nutritional medicine. Your circulation doesn't have to decline with age. Your blood can flow freely again. The science is clear, the mechanisms are understood, and the solutions are available. Take action today. Your body will thank you for years to come. I'll see you in the next video.